With Doubtnut, get instant video solutions to all your maths, physics, chemistry, and biology doubts. Just click the image of the question, crop the question, and get instant video solution. Download Doubtnut app today.
The question is, suggest separation techniques one would need to employ separate the following mixtures. Okay, so the first is mercury and water. So how would you separate a mixture of mercury and water? So mercury and water both are liquids, right? And they're immiscible liquids, right? They're immiscible liquids. Now, immiscible liquids can be separated by a technique of decantation. Okay, by a technique of decantation, right, which is basically based on the difference in the densities. Okay, so you can separate them using decantation by using a separating funnel. Okay, a separating funnel can be used to separate mercury and water. So what happens is that mercury, which is Hg, is heavier than water, right? So it is basically based on the difference in the densities of the two liquids. So it is heavier than water, right? So it forms a lower layer and is separated from water. Okay, right? That is due to the process of decantation. That is because of the process of decantation that they can be separated. Okay, so the method of separation that is used in the part A is decantation, right? Using a separating funnel, they can be separated because mercury, being heavier than water, separates from water and forms a lower layer. Okay, so talking about B is potassium chloride and ammonium chloride. So potassium chloride and ammonium chloride can be separated by a technique of sublimation. Okay, by a technique of sublimation. So what happens is that ammonium chloride, which is NH4Cl, is a very good sublimate, right? So it's a very good sublimate. So it sublimes and you are left with potassium chloride only. So that is how you can separate KCl, which is potassium chloride, and ammonium chloride, because ammonium chloride being a good sublimate sublimes and you're left only with potassium chloride. So what is sublimation actually? Sublimation is the direct conversion of a solid state into a gaseous state, right? So a solid vaporizes. So that process is what we call as sublimation, right? Okay. Talking about the C part is to separate common salt, sand, and water. Okay. So if we talk about a mixture of common salt, water, and sand, then common salt and water are soluble, right? It means that common salt is soluble in water, right? But sand is insoluble, right? Sand is insoluble. So what you will do? Two processes will take place over here, right? The first process will be decantation or filtration, right? The first process will be decantation or filtration to separate sand. To separate sand from the mixture of common salt and water, okay? Because water is soluble in common salt, so they make a solution, and sand is insoluble, so it can be separated using decantation because sand being heavier than common salt and water mixture, it is separated from the mixture, right? Now this is the first process that you will undergo. The second process will be evaporation, right? Evaporation will be done to separate salt and water, right? So evaporation will be done to separate salt and water. So you will what happens is on evaporation, the water will be evaporated out and you will be only left with common salt. Okay, so two processes are involved over here. The first is decantation to remove sand from common salt and water. Then the second process is evaporation to separate salt from water, right? So two processes take place over here, right? Talking about the D part, if we talk about the D part is to separate kerosene oil, water, and salt. So here, what do you have again? Water and salt are soluble, right? Water and salt are soluble together. And then you have kerosene, right? Kerosene is kerosene oil. So if we talk about both of these, water salt mixture which is soluble and then kerosene oil, again they are immiscible, right? Salt water mixture and kerosene oil are immiscible. So again, we'll be using two processes to separate it, right? The first one being the decantation only, right? The first one being the decantation only, right? This will take place with the help of a separating funnel, right? This will take place on the basis of with the help of separating funnel. Again, it is based on the difference in densities, right? Oil being less dense, floats in water, so it is separated out using decantation and decantation by separating funnel. Okay, so basically we are going to use a separating funnel, and the technique is decantation. Okay, and the second will be, now you have separated oil from salt and water mixture. The next thing that you have to do is to separate salt from water, and to separate salt from water, the technique that we use is known as evaporation. Okay, so the water is evaporated out and you're left only with the salt. Okay, so that's all for the question.
For class 6 to 12, IIT JEE and NEET level. Trusted by more than 5 crore students. Download Doubtnut app today.